So my name is Kim Angove and I am the National Manager for the AGPAL Accreditation program. I first started working at AGPAL in 2001, so there's been a lot of changes over the years. I've seen the introduction of many new sets of standards and at the moment I oversee the day-to-day operations for the AGPAL Accreditation product for the general practice profession. So AGPAL was the only accreditation body to participate in the 5th edition pilot. It enabled us to be on the forefront to start implementing new processes and procedures in preparation for the change. We were able to recruit 66 practices to participate in the pilot, as well as recruiting a number of our AGPAL surveyors to include those practices as part of the assessment. So overall the feedback was positive. The practices and the surveyors both indicated that they felt as though they were well placed to be assessed against the 5th edition standards once implemented, and there was some feedback that the RACGP has taken under advisement, being that some of the criterion was still a little bit vague and did need to be tweaked, and I guess that was the purpose of the pilot, was to test the standards in a real world environment. Being a part of the pilot meant that you could contribute to the development of the 5th edition standards, that any feedback that you would actually be providing as part of that would mean that it was relevant to the general practice profession. Tangible benefits included having a recognition of appreciation certificate from the RACGP, that you were eligible to receive CPD points for your general practitioners, practice nurses and practice managers, and of course there was a financial incentive for the time that it actually took to participate in the pilot. The key changes that have been highlighted in the draft standards include considering ethical dilemmas in your practice, how a practice would handle those ethical dilemmas and how the GPs and the clinical team would consider those. Other changes include business risk management systems as opposed to what's currently in the standards as being clinical risk management. How pathology providers would be able to relay important and significant results outside of a normal practice's hours to the general practitioner. So as an accreditation agency, we appreciate the importance of giving the practice staff the opportunity to contribute their expertise and knowledge to the development of the draft standards. So currently the RACGP standards are structured into 5 sections. The proposed changes in the 5th edition are that the standards will be structured into modules. There'll be a core module, a quality improvement module, and a module that is relevant to the profession being accredited. So for in the instance of general practice, it will be a module relevant to general practice. The RACGP have determined that having this modular structure will allow them to be able to adapt the standards to other healthcare settings as needed, as is with the case with immigration detention centres and prisons that currently have their own separate sets of standards. The RACGP will also look at adapting other modules into the future to cover any other healthcare settings, but at the moment what they're looking at is developing a module dedicated to medical deputising services.